Hey, Jae'Sean, just from a defensive standpoint, how skilled do you think this team can be just from switching everything 1 to 5, you and Kenyon and all the other guys?
Yeah, I think that we can be. It's going to be very effective. We have a lot of guys that are similar heights, which makes switching easier, and we have a lot of guys that are capable to guard multiple positions as well. And with Seawood and Tice back there, and Alp guarding the rim, I think it'll be easier for us to just switch.
Your season last year, how different was it this off-season, getting ready or doing whatever you went have done basketball-wise to get ready, having had the experience you did?
Yeah, well, definitely easier because the gyms were actually open. Last year with the COVID, it was hard to get in gyms, especially if you weren't in the NBA facility. So I feel like this year, this is the first real full summer or off season that I had to really work on my game. Coming from overseas, going back to summer league, then having to turn around, go back. This was my first year to actually go back, watch film, dissect, and try to improve.
Is there anything that you learned last year that you needed to work on that you didn't know until you experienced?
No, there's a lot I have to learn. Just looking back a few years ago, I thought I knew everything, and there's just so much more that I have to. And I think that you never start learning in this profession if you want to continue to be better. I think the main thing is just the importance of making open shots and how important possessions are. I think that was the takeaway from this season.
Starter in your rookie season?
Say that again?
Were you surprised at how quickly the coaching staff kind of grew attached to you and made you a starter in your rookie season?
I wouldn't say I was surprised. I think that I was happy, but I put in the work in, and I feel like every night that they threw me out there, I showed I was more than capable, and that's why I started starting.
What motivates you now coming into this season?
Still proving who I am. There's always still doubters. There's always still certain things that you have to prove. I wouldn't even say prove them wrong. It's just proving myself right. And I always say that I want to have a long career in the NBA. And last year was a great start, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
Can you sense already, even without camp starting, there's a commitment from your young players to want to get better?
Yeah, definitely. I think that everybody's hungry. You talked about having a lot of young players. They're all ready to prove themselves, and we have a couple guys who've been 2-3 years, and they need to prove themselves. And nothing's really changed in the aspect of how I was answering questions last year. From top to bottom, this is still an organization that's still trying to prove things, and I'm just excited to see what steps we have taken from last year to this year.
What's the difference in you today versus 12 months ago? You're on the all-rookie team now. You came in here as kind of an unknown quantity.
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Like, people keep calling me the old man. I definitely feel like I matured in basketball, but also just in everyday life. Just with that 1 year of experience, and just that's basically how I answer that.
How beneficial was the trip to Bahamas?
Oh, it was very beneficial. I think that was a great time for us to get acclimated with each other and learn about each other and just team bonding. And the closest teams win, and you need those things. You needed that off the court, especially with so many guys so many new guys. You know, it's a completely almost different team than we had last year. We had 20-something teammates. I had 20-something teammates last year. So just being able to, kick back and pick each other's brains and have some laughs, it was pretty awesome.
How much did Coach Silas play in that?
Say that again.
So you talked about maturity earlier. How much did Coach Silas play in that?
I think he played a really, really huge role in that because, he let me learn from my own mistakes at times, and he also was in my corner when, I needed to be corrected. But, anytime your head coach gives you confidence to go out there and play through mistakes, that's gonna help with that.
Jae'Sean, can you talk about what you worked on? You said you used to think you knew how to do everything. What is it that you worked on since last season? Areas you thought were
Yeah, just definitely just continue to focus on being a better shooter, just knocking down open shots, and just right-hand finishes, getting to the rim in different ways. But like I said, all aspects of the game. I'm not really one to focus on one thing, because the type of player I am, any given night I could be at a different position.
Where do you feel like you kind of fit in with this group? You may only be in your second year, but you're significantly older than about half your team.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like at times. I know it's a big jump from 19 to 25, but we all listen to the same music. We all like the same things. We all can relate in different ways, and I think that's pretty awesome. Like I don't ever feel like I'm out of place, even when I'm with some of the younger guys and the older guys. We keep talking about old guys. Like I'm like middle of the pack. Yeah, like there's still a lot more, So.
Hey, Jae'Sean, since y'all all like the same thing, can y'all translate that to the court? And since y'all's chemistry is building pretty strongly.
Yeah, and I think that was the whole goal of going to the Bahamas, and the teams that win the most, they have that close bond, and there's no way to get that if you're only seeing each other 2-3 hours out the day at practice when it's about business. So that's the plan, and I think it's we're taking steps for that. We're still figuring each other out, and we're just taking it day by day, growing.
We'll take our last two from Zoom.
Ali Khan, go ahead, please.
Hey, Jae'Sean, you're obviously not so new anymore. You played one whole season last year. Teams have a scouting report on you. Just based off of that, what do you expect for you to see this season defensively? And what are some of those things because of the fact that teams are going to be able to focus more on you that you've been working on?
Yeah, they're definitely going to try to make it harder for me to get back to my left hand. So just being confident in finishing with, my right hand is going to be important. And it's not a question of if I can, it's just being confident enough to do it. And I think that we've put the work in, me and my team, and the Rockets have done that this offseason.
Jackson, go ahead, please.
Hey, Jae'Sean, with a lot of players on this team that really pride themselves defensively, you, David, Daniel Tice, what do you think the defensive ceiling is for this group of guys?
I think we have some really lockdown defenders at different positions on the roster. Like you said, the ability of Dave Nwaba, like you can literally tell Dave to go out there and stand in front of anybody, and it's gonna be a tough night. Like if you ask anybody, he's just gonna keep working, and a lot of guys don't like to see that for 4 quarters. And with DT and with DT protecting the basket, I think that's a piece that we were missing at certain times last year, and he just makes us even stronger.